TJ the Wheel Deal. TJ, what's up?
What's going on, Amit? How are you this morning?
I'm doing very well. How do you feel? Palantir at 32.
I feel underweight. I feel underweight, man. I feel underweight. Just phenomenal performance, guys. I've been saying Palantir's overvalued. I've been echoing that for 2 years now, I guess. And I think what it is it's an expensive stock, but it's growing into its valuation. It just needs a little bit more time. They're clicking on all cylinders, dude. I mean, congrats to all the Palantards out there, myself included. I have a pretty big position in Palantir. I just don't, I don't have a Palantir channel because I don't know enough about the company to really carry that dialogue on too much. But I know how to make a lot of money with the company, and I'm thankful to be a part of it. I bought into the Alex Karp narrative very, very early on when he was like, hey, y'all need to rock with this. This isn't going to be like a get rich quick. They're on a mission to do some really, really big things.
Well, and also I would say you consider yourself to be patriotic. And Palantir is one of the more patriotic companies in the stock market.
Yeah, it's really, really awesome. And I'm kind of like in the middle as far as like liberal and Democrat. I call myself a logical. And I like how they have two totally opposite. They're like polar opposites, right? Like Peter Thiel and Alex Karp. But they somehow came in the middle, and they caught a vision, and they're running with that vision, and they're not letting their bullshit politics get in the way.
Right.
But, that is something that is also pretty commendable, because there's so many people, dude, they can't see the forest or the trees. They're like so stuck on the left and on the right. And I'm like, dude, just open your fucking eyes. Like, it doesn't matter what side of the fence you're on. A lot of people can make sense in certain situations. So right. Palantir for the win, man. Palantir for the win. We'll ring the fucking cowbell again, Amit. I mean, this thing is just it has just been awesome. I mean, it's been awesome. I mean, it's the biggest bright spot in our portfolio for sure. But all
right, so let's get into
those that cover calls can be a pain in the ass.
Oh yeah, well we'll talk about that, and we'll see the positions we have open. But let's bring up the public portfolio. I think we can bring up that P&L statement on it, and we'll start talking about it, and we'll look at your Palantir position as well. TJ sold a ton of Palantir $26 puts before earnings, and he was underwater on August 5th, and then by the end of August 5th, those puts printed really nicely.
Yeah, for sure.
And Palantir right now, guys, 31.90. So we went down to 31.74 after 32. I think we get back to 32, but we'll see if that plays out. I'll let you guys know if we see it. But as of now, basically just chilling out right there at 31.90.
Yeah. So here's where we're at, Amit. We've collected net premiums 113 since we started. We have the open collateral is not updated. I didn't have a chance to update that. We're up about 3,000 on shares that we own. So it's been a very, very profitable venture. And Hood has been leading the charge, guys. We've made $33,000 in premiums off of Hood. We don't own one share yet. Shopify was really good early on in this project. We picked up 74.45. TSLL is one that we're in actively, and that one's brought in 10,600 in premiums. HIMS has scooped up another 67.50. We had a little earnings play on NVDL a couple months ago, picked up 685. I took the L on Path, 3,800 total. NVIDIA, we've actually got 500 shares now. We're up 11,993 on NVIDIA when you calculate all the premiums. Mm-hmm. Snow was good for 27.50. That's one that I wanted to talk to you about again, dude. I've been researching, and I know that we're Team Palantir on the channel, but it is still it's getting kind of attractive. And then with like Buffett selling out, it might go to levels that might get pretty appealing for us eventually. And then BITX, you got this play from a friend, right?
Yeah, from Adam.
And that one has just been very, very stress-free money right there. Meta was good for 12,900. American Airlines, we've scooped up 10,625 in premiums. We have 5,000 shares of American Airlines at a pretty good price. And then we were up to 300 shares of CrowdStrike, and we've collected 4,900 in premiums. So that's how it all shakes out. And right now we have currently cash secured puts in the money, 302,500. So we're on the hook to buy some shares if things don't go our way, if you will.
All right.
So what I wanted to do for the Palantir community, and really for my portfolio.
We're making a buy. Are we making a buy?
Is we're going to buy 500 shares right here.
Okay, hold on. Before you do it, are you already did it?
What already happened?
What's the logic? Why are you buying?
So I want to scoop up 5,000 more shares. So
Okay, gotcha.
for the next 10 weeks, 9 weeks, regardless of where the fucking price is, I'm gonna buy 500 shares on the segment, so I can get to my other 500 shares or my other 5,000 shares. And I'll walk y'all through this here in a second. There's a little method to the madness, guys. So do we have 3-4 minutes to talk about Palantir, and I can walk y'all through why?
Dude, we have 3-4 hours, months, days, years, millenniums to talk about Palantir. So you got it. Go for it.
So what happened was I got my hand caught in the fucking cookie jar, bro. I'm talking elbow deep into the fries. You know what I'm saying? Like I was in there, and this fucking idiot over here sold $12 calls for January of 2025 that are like extremely underwater.
To break that down for everyone, so what TJ said is when Palantir was $8, he said TJ made a bet that by January 2025, Palantir would not be more than $12. I know you guys might think that's crazy, but sentiment at the time was not the best. He got paid a hefty premium for that. Someone bought those calls. Maybe one of you guys bought those calls from TJ. And now those calls are probably up 300-400% because Palantir's at $30.
They're printing. They're absolutely printing. So essentially, I have now 20,500 shares at a 1503 average. So we're doing well from that aspect, but this is a little inflated because I have these covered calls over here. I've got 5,000 shares that are essentially for sale at $12 for the beginning of next year. And then I've also got 15,000 shares for sale at $30 for the beginning of next year, January 2025. These aren't causing any stress. These are doing exactly what I wanted them to do. I'll stay in this trade for another 2 or 3 months, and then I'll roll it out a year, go to like $35, $40 strike. That's easy street right there. This one, however, is not. This one here, essentially, in my mind, those shares are gone. I mean, if I want to take my ball and go home, dude, I'm going to lose, $67,000 on that particular cover call. So I'm not going to do that.
So someone bought this call for $688, and currently the call is worth, I think if you scroll up, $2,025. Yeah. Right. So they're up about 2x on that, a little bit more than 2x.
So this is like Breaking Bad. They won, right? So
they won. Correct.
Essentially, I want to roll this call. I want to roll it to 20. That is the goal. The goal is to go from 12 to 20. January 2025 to January 2026. But if I do that right now, it's going to cost me probably in the neighborhood of about $25,000. So this is just playing the long game right now, like trying to figure out, okay, I'm in this predicament. How do you manufacture the win here? So I'm not going to be able to catch up to the stock on one roll. It's just not realistic. So I'm just trying to qualify to go from $12 in capital appreciation, like as far as that's where it's capped off for me, right? I want to go from 12 to 20 because on 5,000 shares, that's $40,000 of capital appreciation. So I'm like, well, how much would it cost me to do that? And right now it would cost me $25,000. So I'm like, it's not really worth it to me because I'm going to have to give you 25,000 just to be able to qualify for 40. So that's just a net positive of 15. And why do, so the logic behind it is like, okay, on the other side of the fence, why wouldn't you just roll up to like 30 or 40? Because I'm going to have to look to roll up for a debit. So I'm not going to pick a strike price that if there's a big change in the macros, I have to pick a strike to where like I just don't see Palantir falling to ever again, if that makes sense. Because you don't want to roll a cover call up and out for a debit just to come see your stock come tumbling down because all your capital appreciation is gone. And now you're just looking really, really stupid paying money to roll a cover call. So 20 that's the number for me. That's the baseline. I don't see a world where Palantir is ever going to go to $20 a share again. That's why I'm picking that strike price. But I want to be able to roll for $20 or for 20 grand. That way it's like, okay, cool. I paid 20, but I qualified for 40. So that's still a net positive of 20. And then it gives me another year to try to like catch up to Palantir. Palantir slows down.
Right. So and again, and the reason, guys, he's saying he's qualified for more is because if the strike goes from 12 to 20, that's $8 more a share that he can make on those 5,000 shares. So he'll still make more money, even though he's paying a debit to get out of it.
Absolutely. So that's the strategy there. So these aren't causing any pain. These aren't causing any pain. But I've already started dealing with this. Like dude, I was like early. I was early. You know what I mean? I was like, I saw the writing on the fucking walls, and I was like, okay, cool, go handle your business. So around the $20 mark, I picked up $20.47. Y'all see that right there?
I remember you made you posted a
I
Twitter
bought,
video.
I bought 5,000 shares of Palantir at 102,000 or $20.47. The reason that I bought right there was in anticipation that eventually I'm going to roll from 12 to 20. And it's 5,000 shares, not coincidentally. So I'm like, I'm still getting that capital appreciation. It just took more money. You follow me?
Right.
And then obviously those shares have performed well. Those are for sale at $30 January. They're not causing me any stress. That's right where I want to be. I want to play the stock from behind so that I reserve the right at some point to sell these shares for a massive fucking profit down the road. That's the reality. And I have my number to where I'm going to probably sell half of the position. And it's in the, whenever Palantir is at like that $250 billion valuation, I'm going to take a profit on it unless it's just screaming at me that it is going to legit do what Alex Karp wants it to do.
I mean, dude, if we get to 250 billion, I want
to be in a position where I have to make some tough decisions, Amit. That's what it's about.
Yeah.
That's what it's about. Because, dude, buying the stock is hard. Selling it for a profit's even harder, guys.
Agreed. 100%.
I know that sounds kind of stupid and counterintuitive, dude. I promise you, I've been there. I was there with Intuit. And I was just like, okay, when am I going to sell this damn thing? Because it's starting to turn into a little bit of life-changing money for my situation at the time.
Right.
And so anyway, so now I'm like anticipating more pain on the horizon in a positive way. This is a positive problem. Make no mistake about it for me. So I'm like, well, let me just, instead of buying, because now Palantir is kind of crazy, right? At 31 bucks, 32 bucks. Well, let me just buy 500 shares at a time and scoop up another 5,000 shares. I'm going to manage these calls for the next 3, 4, 5 years. Eventually, hopefully, I'll catch the stock. And then these new ones, well, they're not really causing me any pain anyway.
Yeah.
But I want to have more shares. And one of the hardest things that I want to demonstrate for you guys live here is, dude, averaging down is kind of easy when the conviction's high.
Yeah.
Averaging up is a little tougher for me personally. I don't like to pay more for shares when I bought a lot of them at like $6 over here. You know?
I mean, let me ask you this. Do you personally think Palantir is worth $32 a share?
I think it's going to grow into 50, bro. So it doesn't really matter. Like whenever you average up in a company, you're looking at 3 to 5 years down the road. So I'm not enamored with like, I'm going to wait on that dip. I'm going to wait on that dip. More important for me is share accumulation. I have a number in mind for Palantir, and it's 50,000 shares. So it becomes a question of not now, when.
Yeah.
Am I going to wait to deal with it when it's 40 or 50? I'd rather deal with it now. Hell, I should have dealt with it when it was 20.
Yeah.
Because I thought about doubling the position when it was 20. But dude, I caught a lot of flack because I posted that trade live on X, and it was like there was like 6 or 7 bookmarks on it, bro. And I can't wait, dude. That's the one thing about Twitter, bro. There's receipts there, motherfuckers. There's receipts, and they go both ways. So I'm gonna figure out, is there a way to figure out who bookmarked me or not?
No, you can't see that. You can't see that,
man. Because I was gonna tag all of those motherfuckers down the road because, dude, I caught a lot of flack for that purchase at $20.47, and it worked out. So this was an average up that was, pretty successful so far. I mean, the story's still being told, guys. So we don't want to do victory laps just yet, but it's looking really good for the home team. And I immediately sold those covered calls right here. So I got a 184 rebate if you want. I picked up $9,200. And so I put them over there with the $30 covered calls. But then since then, I've made a lot of money off of premium selling cash secured puts, mostly into earnings, and it's really, really worked out so far. And then now I'm like, okay, cool. I want to grab another 5,000 shares, but I'm not willing at these levels to just buy 5,000 shares outright, because what if there is a dip to like 24 or 25 bucks?
Why don't you sell puts then right now on Palantir if you want to get 5,000 shares?
Because it ties up a lot of capital, bro. Like it ties that.
And the premiums aren't worth it, is what you're saying.
it was because I could just sell covered calls against these shares and get the rebate. And it's again, it's share accumulation. Like, what's the game?
Yeah.
The game for me right now is I like to get to 50,000 shares of Palantir. I like this to be, top 1 or 2 position in the portfolio. And I'm not enamored with that stuff. I'm always looking at 3 to 5 years down the road. Where do I think Palantir is going to be in 3 to 5 years? It's going to have a 50 in front of it. Or like, I think it's easily going to be over $50 a share. So am I really going to be stressed out because I could have picked up more shares, $1 or $2 less? I don't play that game. I don't play that game. I'm looking at 3 to 5 years down the road. Is my future self going to thank me for this purchase? I'm hoping that I'm pissed off that I didn't buy 5,000 shares at these levels. Like, that's where I think, because why else would you be buying a stock if you don't think that it's ultimately going up and to the right? Like, it riddled me that. I don't understand it.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Like, forget about your thesis, dude. At the end of the day, you need the fucking stock to go up, right? Like, to make money. So, I think that down the road, Palantir, 3 to 5 years, I think it's easily 50. Hell, it could be in the hundreds, Amit.
It's just how high the growth rate becomes and how much the TAM for AI expands. And if it does, then I agree with you. It very well could. They need to really put up the growth, but if they've already started and if they keep doing it, this thing is going to be exciting.
Yeah, so I'm just treating this like a brand new lot, dude. That's it. And eventually I'll look to sell covered calls against those to bring some premiums through the door. But the one thing about Palantir for me is that I'm done weeklies, I'm done monthlies. I'll be selling these covered calls for January of 2025, and it'll probably have like a 34 or 35 handle. Like, gotcha. I'm done jacking with Palantir because I don't like looking at it. I don't like looking at it and like over trading it or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, give me a nice little rebate. I'll sell the covered calls and I'll manage these one time a year, 2 times a year, and call life good. It's essentially a glorified buy, hold, and hope for me.
Yeah.
So that's Palantir, man. I'm super excited. Can't thank you enough, Amit, for all of the research you've done for the Palantir community. Dude, you're my go-to for Palantir, bro. I don't even read an article, bro. I just watch your fucking videos. Like, this true story. I'm not going to waste my fucking time trying to make sense of another article or another contract when I can just watch your channel and get the fucking skinny and save myself a lot of time.
Oh, that's the goal. And hopefully that's for everyone. It's easier to condense the information via the video.
Anyway, a big thank you to Amit on the chat, man. I want to see some thank you to Amit.
No.
I know he saves us a lot of fucking time. Call a spade, dude. You save us a lot of time. There's a lot of value here.
Well, it's good. Look,
on CNBC and wait for Alex Karp, hopefully, to show up on Kramer's channel 3 years from now. They don't like each other. It's evident. It's not going to happen. And he doesn't do that many interviews, so it's real hard for us to go get that information. It's not that readily accessible. So we count on people like you that have dedicated a lot of time and energy into covering this company, dude. You're essentially a pseudo Palantir analyst, kind of.
Yeah, I guess so. I appreciate it. I appreciate the gassing up on a Friday. This feels good. I don't think Karp's ever going to go to Kramer, by the way. I think he's like just not.
They don't like each other, bro. I like for them to fight. Can Karp fight or not? He's too nerdy to fight, right? They'll just like debate each other.
He'll intellectually dismantle him.